Hi, everybody. All right, and welcome to the fourth, maybe, Fun Fact Friday, remote learning virtual edition. All right, so what I did was I took kind of every fun fact that has happened since we left, and I read through them, and I, of my own opinion, without talking to anybody else, picked some ones that I found were interesting. We're going to kind of go in reverse. We're going to start with like the most recent one and work our way backwards. So the ones in March, you'll have to wait for next week to hear about. So we're going to start with something that happened this week, April 22nd. In 1978, the Blues Brothers made their world premiere on Saturday Night Live. If you don't know who the Blues Brothers are, they are cast members Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, and they played Elwood and Joliet Jake Blues, who were two characters that were, from like the Chicagoland area. So, good reference for the city of Chicago. Okay, then we come to April 21st, so earlier this week. In 2017, so just 3 years ago, Harvard researchers announced a discovery of a second parchment manuscript copy of the Declaration of Independence. Harvard researcher Emily Sneff and Danielle Allen announced they discovered a second manuscript while working in a records office in southern England. Experts hypothesized the document belonged to the Duke of Richmond, also known as the Radical Duke, for his proclaimed support of the Americans during the Revolutionary War. So, that's pretty cool that there might be two copies. All right, in 1902, Monday, April 20th, Marie and Pierre Curie isolated radium. So my scientists out there, Marie and Pierre Curie isolated the radioactive radium isotope from the mineral pitchblende in their lab in Paris. They would share the Nobel Prize in Physics that year with French scientist Henri Becquerel. And then it goes on to say that they were regarded in their field for their work in uranium, and that Madame Curie actually invented the word radioactivity, which is kind of cool because we talked about radioactive decay when we talked about exponentials. Okay, a few more facts. April 10th, the very first color film, in 1953, the first color film in 3D appeared. It was the horror film House of Wax, starring actor Vincent Price, and it opened at New York's Paramount Theater. It was released by Warner Brothers, and it was the first major motion picture studio to be shot in color using stereoscopic 3D film. So that's pretty cool, right? The first black and white 3D film was released by a major studio was Man in the Dark, which premiered just 2 days before. So 3D has actually been around for well over 60 years. Cool, right? Okay, two more facts. 1974, Hank Aaron sets the new home run record. So baseball fans out there, Hank Aaron of the Atlanta Braves broke Babe Ruth's all-time home run record, slamming his 715th dinger off LA Dodger pitcher Al Downing. The homer came in the fourth inning of the Braves' home opener and sailed over the center field fence at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta. All right, so that's pretty cool. 1974, he breaks Babe Ruth's record. And then last but not least, in 1776, on March 31st, like I said, we're working our way backwards, Abigail Adams urged her husband to remember the ladies. In a letter dated March 31st, 1776, Abigail Adams wrote to her husband, John, urging him and the other members of the Continental Congress not to forget about the nation's women when fighting for America's independence. The future First Lady wrote in part, I long to hear that you have declared an independency, and by the way, in the new code of laws which I suppose it will be necessary for you to make, I desire you will remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors. I don't think he listened, unfortunately. Don't worry, we can vote and all that good stuff. So, thank you so much for listening. This will be another edition next week. I hope you're having the best week you can under the e-learning circumstances. All right, until next time, bye.